Cash App. You guys, I'm writing because I was writing before I even got to this message. This man, Bob Lee, as we know it, um, his life was very interesting, very complex. Now, what I was getting from Bob Lee is he was living a double life in his personal life. Okay. But it doesn't matter what kind of life you live in your personal life. Your personal life is your personal life, right? But how it affects his how his personal life, they called him Crazy Bob. Okay. I'm not using no cards. They called him Crazy Bob. Now I did a reading, my first read on him, and this is my second read that I'm doing on him. My channel energy reading. When I did the first reading, I was getting messages during my first read. But that's why I said I need to do a part two. Now, I want to know, was this man murdered? Okay. Now, what I'm seeing is establishment. Okay. Thank you, ancestors. Thank you, angels. Thank you, Yeshua. Now, what I'm seeing in the metaphysical, I'm seeing a card. Okay. Wow, my throat chakra. You guys, they really don't want this to come out, but this is going to come out. This man was very intellectual. Okay. This is not like Bill Gates. Bill Gates was the type of person that took people's ideals and patented their ideals. He made money off the backs of smart tech savvy people. Okay. This is what Bill Gates does. And Bill Gates, I'm being brought to Bill Gates, and I'm talking about Bob Lee. This is interesting. This dynamic. Because if we look at the dynamic now, Bill Gates is one of the richest men in the world. Okay. This video is for entertainment purposes, but use true discernment out here. When Bill Gates moves in a certain direction or even speaks in a certain direction, he's telling us what he's going to do. Okay. This is the wisdom and the knowledge of us knowing. Okay. Bill Gates made his money off of other people and he just patented. Okay. He patented their ideals. Okay. This makes sense. He patented the ideals of other intellectual individuals, being intellectual people that had intellectual ideals or intellectual how can I say this? Intellectual in the tech world, and he just had it patented. Okay, basically. But he took ideals from other people to obtain his riches. Okay, if that makes sense. Bill Gates has not did anything to make him the richest man in the world. The only thing that made him the richest man in the world, and what I see blood on his hands. So when I'm seeing this in the metaphysical, it's showing me that, and I don't know why Bob Lee is bringing up Bill Gates. Okay, I don't know if there was, I can't remember. Did Bob Lee work with Bill Gates? Because this is what I'm feeling. They worked on something together. Okay, I think I did in a previous video. I haven't even watched it, you guys. Okay, he's bringing up he's bringing up Bill Gates. Okay, Bob Lee is bringing up Bill Gates. He's saying this is how he made his money off of others, and he got the ideals of others patent. Okay, this is how he made his money. Okay, he's saying blood money. Okay, now I want to talk about Bob Lee, the founder of Cash App. Okay, what he's telling me is the currency, the money. Okay, he keeps bringing me to the money. Now, also, this is crazy what I'm seeing because I'm seeing this in the metaphysical. Now, I feel like Bob Lee, I'm seeing the Hierophant card here. So I feel like Bob Lee, he was following social structures and establishments and their own traditions. Um, but I feel like that's not what he wanted to do. Okay. He had a wish for himself. Okay. He wanted to venture off. Okay. Now, I'm also seeing Bill Gates and the Pope. Okay. So I don't know what the Pope has to do with this, you guys. Okay. Because Vatican City, I'm seeing them having their own currency. This is bizarre. Okay. They have their own currency. Okay. I don't know why I'm getting this, but this is talking about establishment that he was going up against, a tradition that he was going up against. So I'm seeing the damn Pope. Okay. Um, Also, when I see this, this is a pathway to knowledge and education. So I feel like Bob Lee was going into a whole other direction in his life against the institution, against the establishment, against the traditional way. And this would affect the Pope in some kind of way because I'm seeing the Pope in front of me and he's all white. Now, I really believe for a long time that the Pope was the Antichrist. Okay. For a long time, I believed this, but it wasn't the Pope. Okay. He's just one of the minions in this um, structured tradition, foundation. So where Bob Lee was going was in a different direction. And but the direction he was going would affect the Pope. Okay. There's something that he wanted to do and affect also Bill Gates in some kind of way. And it affect the tradition, the ways, the establishment. Okay. Um, because this man was very intellectual, Bob Lee, but he keeps bringing up Bill Gates. So I feel like Bill Gates betrayed him. And I feel like he told Bill Gates something because when you see the Hierophant, it suggests that it's a better for you to flow with social structure, which are establishments and have their own tradition. But I'm seeing here religious factors are involved. Okay, religious factors and institutions. He conformed to this that already existed, that set rules and situations which were already fixed. Okay. Now I also see this card. So this shows me what direction he was basically going in. He was going in a whole totally different direction. He keeps saying Bill Gates. You guys, I can't make this up. He was going in a different direction. Okay. Now he was feeling expired. You guys, this is crazy. He was murdered, but he was feeling expired. He was feeling inspired about something new that he was going to partake in. Um, he had hope, renewed hope into his future, right? And he had faith into his future. Um, in a sense that he was being truly blessed by the universe at the time of his passing. Okay. I think he was getting an enlightenment of what was really going on because I'm seeing the Pope and I'm still seeing Bill Gates. So he understood the establishment. This is what I'm being told. He understood the establishment, but he had to work with the establishment to get his dream and wish fulfilled, and that was the Cash App. Okay. Wow, this is deep. I'm seeing the Pope in front of me. Wow. Okay, he's speaking, you guys. Okay, so I got now I feel like he was working. Ooh, validate this card for me. I feel like he was working. He's showing me the number 3. Jesus. So he's showing me the number 3. So there was 3 individuals that he was working with on a new project. I don't know if this guy was into like meditation, spirituality, um, really getting to know himself. And he was kind of like I said, he was living a double life as far as his love life. Um, there was a double life here. Okay. One he showed to the world, and sometimes I feel like he didn't even care. So his wife knew about this double life. Okay. This is what he's saying. She knew. Okay. Now, now I feel like there was a group coming together to focus on a common emotional goal. People reach out emotionally to one another. It speaks of sense of community, and it indicates a time to get more involved by helping. So maybe he was trying to help other people, um, and they felt like he was in the way. Bob Lee was in the way. Wow, because he was helping people, and there's something with the currency, the money. Okay, it's like he turned his back because he found out he knew, but this was a time for a spiritual awakening for him. I don't know if he was like working with, oh my God, he was working with the guru or something like that, but it's a death and rebirth here. So I feel like he was actually going through the death and rebirth process, in the physical and the spiritual. So this is what I was saying before this card just flipped out my deck. Thank you, Bob Lee. He was going through the but death and rebirth process, which we go through that many times. But this was awakening because if you see the card, there's no eyes here. The sun is just shining. Now the red is significant because remember I said the Pope. I keep seeing the Pope. Okay. Now he said rituals and he said ceremonies. So they wore the red for rituals and ceremonies. Okay. So I feel like he was becoming more spiritual, awoke, and aware, and he didn't want to go into the direction they wanted him to go into. He wanted to go into his own direction. And he was also growing spiritually and he wanted to help others. Help others. This is what he's saying. He wants to help others. Wow. But before his death, he was feeling optimistic. Yes, he was feeling optimistic. Very optimistic about his future. But there's something with the currency. Okay. The currency itself. Um, Now I don't know if he was going to sell Cash App. Were you going to sell Cash App, Bob? But he was going in a new direction. And I'm seeing the Pope, and this is interesting when I see the death and rebirth, because he was actually going through the death and rebirth process on this realm. Okay. Um, wow. But he wanted to help other people. Okay. It's about ending. So there was an ending and a beginning in his life, okay? And there was a birth and rebirth. It's a change and transformation. There was a change and transformation in Bob Lee before his death. Um, Now there's a massive transformation, I feel like. Um, Now I feel like he was ending something in his life, a chapter in his life, and starting a new beginning chapter in his life, okay? And this was more on the financial side than more of, and this could also have been in love, okay? Finance and love, okay? But this masculine man that I kept seeing that was in his life, this, if the lover card comes out, oh my gosh. Now I'm getting the Emperor. So this is a masculine. Remember, I said in my first reading, and I'm bringing, bought. I'm going back to Bill Gates. Now, Bill Gates was married with a woman, but had a relationship with men. And Bill Gates chose to be with black men. There was something about black men. He admired them. He wanted to be like them. He actually had a relationship with black men. Bill Gates. Okay. Now, he keeps bringing me to Bill Gates. He wants to talk about Bill Gates. Okay. So this guy, it was a masculine that took Bob Lee's life. Okay. He's showing me the masculine here. Now, also, I feel like Bob Lee was excited and passionate before his death, and things were heating up into the moment of his death. Okay. So there was good fortune in a very important aspect of his life that includes wealth and finances. You guys, this man was murdered for wealth, finances, currency. I'm seeing currency. Indicates term of financial growth, um, financial condition. I feel like this man was financially conditioned to the traditions, the trajectory of this Babylon system, and he did not want to go that way. He wanted to go to another way. Okay, so he was having a like a spiritual awakening where he actually wants to help people, but he had people in the way. The Pope himself was in the way because this is like a ceremony. When I see the red, now when he died, was it on the full moon? He's speaking. Okay, so let me look at the time of death. So whoever killed him was definitely a masculine. Um, wow, 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 wow. Woo. So whoever killed him was a masculine, a control freak, immature, lack of discipline, loss of authority, and very manipulated. Okay, and he played a role as a leader. Did Bill Gates kill you? What the fuck? Excuse my language. Okay, I pulled the emperor in the upright position, so I'm asking him, did Bill Gates kill him or had him killed? What the fuck? Okay, I'm just gonna say, I'm gonna have to say this. I don't want to say this, but it was in the upright position. Now, also, I have the queen here, the queen of pentacles. So there was a masculine and feminine. Now, what this man was married, right? You guys, I didn't read a lot on him. I don't know a lot about him. I knew he had a wife and some children. Now, this Queen of Pentacles, I don't know who this Queen of Pentacles is. This Queen of Pentacles, she felt like he had worked hard to generate a level of financial and physical security. Um, this he was generous. Okay, now I'm feeling like Bob Lee was generous in some kind of way. He was becoming more generalist with his money. He was hardworking. He was warm person. He had talent for both business as well as love. Okay. Remember I said this? So this is showing up here. So he was married, right? Okay. Um, So this queen felt like that she would lose her luxury. She would lose her wealth, her prosperity, and her financial independence. Okay. Now I'm feeling like Bob Lee was going to leave his wife. Now I'm going to see if he was married. Um, maybe he was going to leave his wife because she was working with. Oh shit! They were talking. They were watching him. There was two people here working together. You guys, I keep seeing the freaking Pope. Okay, the Pope. There was a masculine and feminine working together. Um, to have Bob exited out. Okay. Um, because they thought they were going to lose. He was going into another direction in his life. So maybe he was going to get divorced. So let me see if he was married. Probably Cash App. Was he married? Yes, he was wife. He survived by his wife Kristen and their two children. So for alleged purposes, entertainment purposes, she knew about his double life, and I feel like her and a masculine was working together on taking Bob Lee's life. Okay. Now I feel like they tried to have him in despair, confusion. Um, but he was hopeful because he was going through that death and rebirth process here. Now there was a period of conflict, and he was just ready to move forward with his life and create positive changes and bring new energy in. Okay, basically, this is what I'm seeing. Okay, now I feel like they were watching him. They were watching his moves, like every move he was making. And I feel like there was communication between a feminine and masculine. The feminine was the Queen of Pentacles, and the masculine was the Emperor himself. Okay. Um, Now also I can look at this as Bob was actually the Emperor because he was a co-founder of Cash App and he was dealing with the Queen of Pentacles. Um, but I feel like the Emperor was another masculine that he. I feel like there was two relationships going on in his life. This is the love. Um, there was a female that she felt like she was going to lose the money, she was going to lose the luxury, she was going to lose all that. He was walking away from his wife. Okay, um, and I feel like she knew that. Now the Emperor was somebody else he was dealing with. Um, this guy was very authority. Um, I don't feel like he was the Emperor. I feel like he was this Five of Swords right here. He was ready to walk away. Okay. I feel like he had new ideals and he had new plans with this Page of Swords energy. I feel like he was going in a new direction. Okay. Um and it's associated with intellect as well as action. He was taking action. Okay. Now they were definitely watching him. He says yes. Okay. Wow. Oh my God, you guys. The Ace of Pentacles. It was about money. I knew it. Ace of Pentacles is here. He was murdered all because of his money and who he was. And he didn't want to conform to the traditional ways of the institution. Okay. Wow. This right here, because people was going to lose out on a lot of money. This is a card of opportunity. Seeds being planted. He planted the seed in the material world. And he made security. He made security, stability for his family and fortune. Okay, and this is why he was taken out. Okay, now he's saying that there's going to be judgment being called. So he's calling it. Maybe he was calling him out before he was murdered, but he was like changing his life. Okay. He was rising up, embracing the higher level of consciousness. This is why I think he was on a actual spiritual new journey in his life. And they did not like this new Bob Lee that he was showing to his family, his wife, and showing to this masculine. They were working together, this masculine and feminine, okay? Because they were going to lose out on money. Okay, he was working on his spiritual enlightenment, okay? His spiritual self, okay? And he was like giving people money, like donating money and all this other stuff, okay? He's talking about judgment here. He was embracing a higher level of consciousness and subconsciousness and serving for the highest good. So he wanted to turn his whole life around and help others. And they did not want him doing this, okay, at all. And the judgment I'm seeing here is the career, and it's breaking terms of success. So he was actually breaking the terms of success by not financially. I feel like this man was going to walk away from his family. Okay, walk away from everything, going into a whole totally new direction in his life. And this is why he was murdered. And I'm seeing the Pope here, you guys. And I'm hearing Bill Gates. Okay. I feel like he wanted a different life for himself. And the only way to achieve this new life was to walk away from everything that he known. The love, the finances. I mean, he wasn't going to give up all his money, but he had to walk away. Disappointment, sorrow over past events. He was not happy over past events in his life. He was blinded to the situation, but now he fully understood the situation before he left because he had hope and he was optimistic about his future. But he was blinded. He had disappointment and sorrow over his past events in his life. And this was his love life and his life that he was living. Whew, it's crazy. But he's saying that judgment will be served here. Okay. Now the judgment, I feel like it's the judgment that's going to be served is the judgment on the spiritual realm. That judgment is going to be served. Okay. He was in spirit. He was experiencing spirituality. And he is saying that judgment will be called. This is deep. Okay. Now, what we're going to see is he's saying that they're celebrating his death. You guys, I can't make this shit up, okay? They're saying he's showing me they're celebrating his death, but it's in the reverse position. Okay. 12, 12, 12 on the clock. Judgment is being called here. Judgment is being called. Oh shoot. The angels ain't playing. So he's saying that there's going to be celebration, but it's not really going to be celebration because they're celebrating whoever is left as a beneficiary of his money, and I feel like it's his wife and the children because he's showing me the children. Um, he was going to walk away from her. He was walking away from a lot of people. He was like, "I'm walking away. I'm on my new spiritual journey," and he was happy. Like I see before his death, he was optimistic. He was happy, but the sorrow came from people, places, and things. People he was dealing with, his wife, his business partners, his business transaction. He wasn't happy in those areas because he was conformed to the tradition of what they wanted him to do. But he was like, "No, I'm not doing this anymore. Okay, I'm going to do what I want to do." Okay. You either like it or I'm leaving. Okay. So I got this card in the reverse position. So right now, his wife feels like there's a milestone, and other people feel like there was a milestone, a significant personal milestone that they have achieved, but success and self confidence with the money. And he's saying that they haven't achieved that. They think they have achieved that, but they really haven't achieved that. Okay, because they're seeing from this the physical, not the spiritual. Okay, they're being and they're going to be actually judged for this. This judgment will be brought upon them because of this. Because they wanted this. This is supposed to be in this position, and it came in this position. And what is on this card? A female. I don't know what his wife looks like. She had brown hair. Yep, I'm seeing brown hair. And I never even seen a picture of his wife. Brown, brownish red. I don't know. Give me one more card. Bob, one more card. Bob Lee, show me, give me angels, ancestors. They're saying for the judgment here. Give me true discernment. True discernment. Give me a yes or no card. Yes or no. Am I right about the Pope currency? Let's talk about the Pope currency. Bill Gates. Let's talk about his wife and this lover. This tall, dark skin. He's not dark skin, but this guy is like dark hair. Tall. He's really nice looking man that he was dealing with. And this was a love relationship. He's saying yes. And his wife. Now, does his wife have brownish hair, brownish red, brown hair? 'Cause I'm seeing a lot of brown hair here. Probably co-founder of Cash App. Just give me a yes or no about your wife and the Pope and Bill Gates. There was a masculine and feminine involved in his death. This was very personal. Um, Very personal. And he was murdered because of the direction he was going as far as his finances. He was going in a completely different direction. He was going to leave his wife. He was leaving everybody behind. Okay. Just give me a yes or no. That's all I need. He is talking. Yep. Yes. Saying that's why he was murdered. Yes. And he showed me the emperor. So the actual person that actually killed him was masculine. Um, but there was also a female involved. And she thought of herself as a queen. Um, the Queen of Pentacles. But it wasn't her pentacles. It was actually his pentacles. Okay, it was actually his pentacles. So she could be an earth sign. The man that murdered him could be a fire sign. Okay, she had pentacles because of him, Bob Lee, the co-founder of Cash App. Okay, but the actual person that committed the crime was actually a masculine. Okay, he could be an air sign. His wife could be an earth sign. I feel like he was being watched. He spoke to his wife about this divorce. Maybe there was divorce paperwork. I don't know. Maybe this will come out. He's saying there's judgment being called, but the judgment that's being called is on the spiritual realm. They're going to come out and say that his sexuality, they're going to talk about his sexuality. He's saying yes, they will. Now, I don't know if he actually died on a full moon. Was it a full moon that day? Crazy. Very crazy. Let me see the, the day of his death. I want to see his death date, and the reason why I want to see this, and I want to see if his wife has brown hair because I've never seen a picture of his wife. Okay, he died April 4th, and he was born December 20th of 1979. So I feel like he also came in with past life. He came in with past life knowledge. I feel like if you go to my other read that I did on him, he came in with past life kind of knowledge, but not full knowledge. Okay. In this lifetime, he was supposed to complete something. And they sent his wife, which is a karmic. This is some crazy shit. He's sending these karmics into people's life to distract them. Yes, from his pentacles. Shoot, he was supposed to do more. Oh my gosh, he was supposed to be doing more in this life. But he was distracted. Okay, his wife was sent to distract him. So April 4th, I'm gonna see if there's a full moon on April 4th. And I don't know what his wife looks like, you guys, but I'm seeing brown hair. Does she have brown hair? And he's saying something about April 4th. It's significant. He's saying go to the Gregorian calendar, April 4th, moon. He's saying he keeps saying Gregorian calendar. On this day, the moon was waxing Gobbo's phase, visible through most of the night sky, setting a few hours before sunrise. This phase is when the moon is more than 50% illuminated, but not yet the full moon. And he keeps saying Gregorian calendar. Guys, I can't make this up. Then I say the lovers. Look what card came out, the lovers. That night that he was murdered, he was with a masculine and it was a lover. Now, roles can be reversed in tarot, but the lovers card came out and also this card came out. So I'm definitely going to read these two cards that came out flying together. Okay. So a lot of emotions is going on here. This is emotional card. a person who is bringing ideals, opportunities, and offers. Is a dreamer who can easily be persuaded. A dreamer, somebody is intellectual, full high principles. Somebody can be easily um, manipulated. A mature man who appears to like the finer things in life and music and arts. He can be warm, hearted, and kind. Sea and water, reference sea and water, bringing the elements connected to. So this person could be a water sign. Also it could be a fire sign that actually murdered him because I've seen fire twice. And the lovers cards came out. So the person that did this um, could actually have been a lover. Okay, a lover. Um, Now I'm seeing this. The lovers card is pure love, harmony. Now in the reverse time is when you're out of sync with those around you, and I feel like he was out of sync with those around him. Okay, so it's showing me money. It's showing me lovers. He was in multiple relationships, but the main two was his wife and this masculine. Okay, this is what he's showing me, and he just showed me the lovers card. I feel like his wife felt like she was gonna be left out with the money. I mean, he would have to pay child support, of course. She would have still been financially set, but the luxuries it wouldn't be as much. I think. Um, so I'm seeing a crime of passion here, and also a crime of tradition. His whole tradition changed. He's about to leave everybody behind. Yes, he was about to walk away. He was about to walk away. Yes. Oh my God. He was about to walk away, you guys. He was getting enlightenment. He was even in isolation. He could have been working with a guru. I keep hearing guru. Yes. This card keeps coming out. His intuition was on point. Before he died, his intuition was his conscious and subconscious was more elevated. He was getting wisdom about his situation, and he did not like the direction and the directory of his life. Okay, he was going to change it. All right, you guys. This is Jennifer Felix. You guys, I am sending you love and light, my beautiful souls. This read was on Bob Lee, the co-founder of Cash App. Okay, this was my second read. This will be my last read on him. I hope you guys got some insight. I got some very good insight of his life. I feel like he was very optimistic, very hopeful for his future. But he was seeing things differently. And people around him did not want that. Okay, they wanted to still control him. They wanted his pentacles. They wanted his abundance. They wanted his money. Um, but he was ready to walk away from all that to find his true happiness. Okay. And his true happiness was walking away from people, places, and things that no longer served his happiness. And this was personal. Okay. Very personal. All right, guys. Jennifer Phillips, light and love, my beautiful souls.